before you go out, you want to gather as much information as possible. Now, that may not be possible if you've been called out in an emergency, but if you've been commissioned to carry out a structural investigation, then do a desk study first and grab as much information as you can. Now, the council files available from your local council should contain some useful information among all the drafts, but it should, if you're lucky, have the drawings for the building. You also need to know in your industrial environment whether there's any hazardous materials in or near the structure. Is the building being used, for example, as a factory or a chemical processing? So are there any hazardous processes in or near the structure? Those two will conclude, or you should conclude, what risks are you likely to come across during your inspection, and therefore what mitigation you require, what PPE you might require. And don't forget, PPE is the last resort, not the first. If you can mitigate the risk, do so. If you can eliminate risks, even better. So you can then carry out your initial survey on site. And your first question is, does what you see on site actually match what you've got on paper? And if it doesn't, record it. Record the structural condition anyway. Are you seeing anything that's in distress? If necessary, have a quick calculation on any of the parts that you may think are overloaded or in distress. So the bottom half of that flow chart. If those suspect parts are not safe, you might need to take some preventative action before further appraisal, i.e. this is where your temporary propping comes in, ensuring of walls that are out of plumb, extra bracing that you may need. Then you can expose structural elements and take samples and investigate as required. And this is where you come to, is it sound? Is the structural integrity of this building sound? If not, well, can it be repaired? And if so, is it easy? If it is easy, then get straight to it and propose the repairs with the priority, and subject to those repairs, if the building is there for fit for purpose, you can then do your initial survey and survey report. If not, you might have to go on to further investigations. If you're doing a DSA survey, you will probably need to go on to more investigations anyway. But if this is just you've been called in because there's a crack or there's some slight fault with the building, you can therefore, and you don't really see there's any problem with the building, you can complete your report and deem the structure to be adequate for its current use, subject to repairs that you recommend. Okay, so these now link on together from flowchart 1 to flowchart 2.